Imagine a place so remote that it is home to more polar bears than people. A place where the sun doesn't rise for 4 months of the year, plunging the landscape into a perpetual icy twilight. This is Svalbard, a Norwegian archipelago located deep inside the Arctic Circle, just 800 miles from the North Pole. It is a frozen desert of rock and snow, hostile to almost all forms of life. Yet, buried deep inside a sandstone mountain on the island of Spitsbergen lies the most important room in the world. It is quiet, it is dark, and it holds the keys to human survival. From the outside, it looks like a villain's lair from a James Bond movie. A concrete wedge juts out of the snow-covered mountainside, illuminated by a surreal, glowing artwork of fiber optics and steel called perpetual repercussion. This is the entrance to the global seed vault. It is not a military base, and it is not a bunker for billionaires. It is something far more valuable. It is the ultimate hard drive for the planet's agriculture. It is the safety net that catches us if civilization falls. The concept is terrifyingly simple. Modern agriculture is fragile. We rely on a tiny number of crops to feed 8 billion people. If a disease, a nuclear war, or catastrophic climate change were to wipe out our major food sources, humanity would face mass starvation. The vault was built to prevent this extinction event. It currently houses over 1 million seed samples from every corner of the globe, from the rice fields of North Korea to the corn stalks of the United States. It is a Noah's Ark for plants, designed to last forever. But why here? Why bury the world's food supply in a frozen wasteland? The answer lies in permafrost. The mountain is naturally frozen solid, even if the power fails, even if the cooling systems break down, and even if humans abandon the facility for centuries, the seeds will remain frozen at a stable sub-zero temperature. The mountain itself provides the refrigeration. It is a passive, fail-safe system engineered to outlast governments, empires, and perhaps even the people who built it. Americans often call it the Doomsday Vault, a nickname that the scientists who run it secretly hate but begrudgingly accept. The media loves to imagine it as a reboot kit for a post-apocalyptic world. While that is true, its real purpose is often more mundane but equally critical. It protects against regional disasters, a typhoon destroying a seed bank in the Philippines, or a civil war bombing a laboratory in Syria. It is not just for the end of the world, it is for the end of worlds on a smaller scale. Getting inside is strictly forbidden for almost everyone. There is no tour, there is no gift shop. The heavy steel doors are coated in ice and unlocked only a few times a year to accept new deposits. Once you pass the entrance, you enter a 100-meter-long tunnel bored directly into the solid rock. The air is dry and bitterly cold. The walls are reinforced concrete, designed to withstand a direct nuclear strike or a massive earthquake. It is a cathedral of silence, built to stand for 10,000 years. The geopolitical significance of this location cannot be overstated. Svalbard is technically Norwegian territory, but under the 1920 Svalbard Treaty, it is a demilitarized zone. Military activity is banned. This makes it one of the few places on Earth where rival nations trust each other enough to store their most precious assets side by side. Inside the vault, boxes of seeds from the United States sit on shelves next to boxes from Russia and North Korea. In the face of survival, politics freezes over. As we stand before this concrete portal, breathing in the sharp Arctic air, we have to ask ourselves, what kind of future are we preparing for? The existence of the vault is a paradox. It represents the height of human cooperation and foresight, but also our deepest fear that we might destroy everything we have built. To understand the gravity of this place, we need to go inside. We need to follow the path of a seed from a farm in Iowa to this frozen crypt at the top of the world. The journey of a seed destined for the vault is a logistical odyssey. It usually starts in a gene bank thousands of miles away, perhaps in a humid laboratory in Colombia or a dry field station in Iowa. The seeds are carefully dried to a moisture content of roughly 5%, a critical step to prevent ice crystals from forming inside the cells and rupturing their DNA during freezing. Once dried, they are vacuum sealed inside special 3-ply foil packages. These aren't your average Ziploc bags. They are military-grade barriers designed to keep out moisture and oxygen for centuries. From there, the seeds enter the global shipping network. They are packed into standard plastic crates and flown on commercial cargo planes to Oslo, Norway. But the final leg of the trip is the most treacherous. They must catch a flight to Longyearbyen, the world's northernmost commercial airport. Landing here is not for the faint of heart. Pilots have to navigate fierce Arctic winds, blinding snowstorms, and total darkness during the polar night. The runway is built on permafrost, which requires constant maintenance to prevent it from buckling as the ground shifts. Upon arrival, the crates are not immediately rushed to the vault. They are often held at the airport for security screening. This is where the unique black box system comes into play. The vault operates like a Swiss bank's safety deposit box. Norway owns the facility, but they do not own the seeds. The boxes are sealed, and no one, not even the vault's managers, is allowed to open them. The depositing country retains sole ownership. It is a diplomatic guarantee that allows nations like North Korea and the United States to store their assets on the same shelf without conflict. The drive from the airport to the vault is short but surreal. The road winds up the side of Plateauberg Mountain, a rugged mass of sandstone that was chosen for its geological stability. The engineers didn't just dig a hole, they bored a 120-meter tunnel straight into the heart of the rock. This depth is calculated to leverage the mountain's thermal inertia. Even if the mechanical cooling system fails completely and the outside world heats up due to climate change, it would take centuries for the heat to penetrate this deep into the bedrock. Entering the facility feels like walking into a submarine. You pass through a series of heavy steel doors, each one an airlock designed to prevent warm, humid air from rushing in. The walls of the tunnel are reinforced with spray concrete and massive steel bolts to keep the mountain from collapsing in on itself. As you walk deeper, the silence becomes oppressive. The only sound is the hum of the cooling system and the crunch of your boots on the frost that coats the floor. You are leaving the biosphere and entering the cryosphere. The target temperature inside the vault is a specific non-negotiable number, -18 degrees Celsius, roughly 0 degrees Fahrenheit. While the permafrost naturally keeps the mountain at a chilly -3 degrees Celsius, that isn't cold enough for long-term hibernation. Giant industrial chillers, powered by the local coal plant and soon renewable energy, pump freezing air into the chambers to drive the temperature down. This deep freeze puts the seeds into a state of suspended animation, slowing their metabolic rate to a near standstill. The location was also chosen for its altitude. The entrance sits exactly 130 meters above sea level. This is not a random number. Engineers calculated the worst-case scenario for global warming. If both the polar ice caps melted entirely and sea levels rose by hundreds of feet, the vault would still remain dry. It is one of the few pieces of infrastructure on Earth designed explicitly with the apocalypse in mind. It is future-proofed against a world that doesn't even exist yet. Once the crates reach the end of the tunnel, they are wheeled into one of the 3 main storage chambers. These are massive, cathedral-like halls carved out of the solid rock. Currently, only the middle chamber is in use, its shelves stacked high with black boxes from every continent. The air here is so still and cold that dust doesn't even settle. It is a library of life, frozen in time, waiting for a withdrawal that everyone hopes will never have to happen. Inside the freezing darkness of the main chamber, the shelves are lined with standard-issue plastic crates. They look unremarkable, like something you'd find in the back of a Home Depot. But open one of those boxes and you are staring at the most valuable biological data on Earth. We aren't just storing corn or wheat, we are storing the genetic history of agriculture. There are over 150,000 distinct varieties of rice alone. There are ancient grains that haven't been grown in centuries and wild relatives of crops that look nothing like what you buy at Whole Foods. This diversity is our only defense against the monoculture trap. Modern industrial agriculture relies on a tiny handful of high-yield supercrops. In the US, 99% of corn acres are planted with just a few genetic varieties. If a new fungus or pest evolves to kill that specific variety, the entire food system collapses. The seeds in the vault are the antidote. They contain the messy, wild, unrefined genes, traits for drought resistance, flood tolerance, or disease immunity that we might desperately need to breed into our future crops to save them. This vault isn't just a museum, it is a working bank. And like any bank, you only appreciate it when you need to make a withdrawal. That moment came sooner than anyone expected. In 2015, the ICARDA seed bank in Aleppo, Syria, was destroyed by the brutal civil war. The scientists fled, but the seeds were lost. Thankfully, they had backed up their collection in Svalbard years earlier. In a historic first, the vault opened its doors to return the seeds. They were shipped to Lebanon and Morocco, planted, harvested, and redeposited. The system worked. This black box arrangement is strictly enforced. The vault is owned by Norway, but the contents are owned by the depositors. It operates on a level of trust that is almost non-existent in modern geopolitics. A box from North Korea sits on a shelf just a few feet away from a box from the United States. In this frozen room, there are no sanctions, no trade wars, and no borders. Every nation understands that if the world ends, ideology won't matter. Only calories will. Among the millions of samples, there are treasures that go beyond simple survival. The Cherokee Nation became the first U.S. tribe to deposit their own heritage seeds here in 2020. They sent white eagle corn, a sacred variety carried along the Trail of Tears. This highlights a profound truth. The vault doesn't just preserve food, it preserves culture. If these seeds die, the stories, ceremonies, and history attached to them die too. It is a cultural hard drive as much as a biological one. But nothing lasts forever, not even in a freezer. The seeds are living organisms. They breathe, albeit very slowly. While the cold slows down their metabolism to a near halt, they will eventually lose their viability. Grain crops like wheat and barley can last for 2,000 years or more. Oil-rich seeds like sunflowers might only last 50 years. This means the vault is not a fire-and-forget facility. It requires constant monitoring. When a sample gets old, it must be taken out, planted, harvested, and a fresh batch of seeds sent back up the mountain. The sheer value density of this room is hard to comprehend. You could fit the entire global economy inside a hard drive, but you can't eat code. In a post-collapse scenario, a handful of drought-resistant wheat from this room would be worth more than all the gold in Fort Knox. It is the ultimate hedge against reality. We spend billions on military defense, but this passive, silent room is the only defense we have against the oldest enemy of humanity, starvation. As we walk back down the tunnel, leaving the cathedral behind, the heavy steel doors lock with a reassuring thud. The cooling system hums, pumping the temperature back down to that magic number. The seeds are safe for now, but outside, the world is changing faster than the engineers anticipated. The very thing that makes Svalbard perfect, the cold, is under attack. The Arctic is warming 4 times faster than the rest of the planet, and the impenetrable fortress is beginning to sweat. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault was built on a single fundamental gamble that the Arctic would stay frozen forever. The engineers chose this location because the permafrost was supposed to act as a natural fail-safe freezer. Even if the power went out, the mountain itself would keep the seeds at a safe -3 degrees Celsius for centuries. But nature, it seems, did not sign the contract. The Arctic is currently warming 4 times faster than the global average. The fail-safe mechanism is beginning to fail. In 2017, the unthinkable happened. It wasn't a nuclear missile or an earthquake that breached the defenses. It was rain. An unseasonably warm winter caused heavy rainfall instead of snow, and the permafrost around the entrance tunnel began to melt. Water gushed into the access tunnel, flooding the floor. Luckily, the water froze into a sheet of ice before it reached the actual seed chambers deeper inside. The seeds were safe, but the illusion of invincibility was shattered. The fortress had a leak. The incident revealed a terrifying flaw in the design. The active layer of the permafrost, the top layer of soil that thaws in the summer and freezes in the winter, was supposed to be shallow. But as temperatures rose, that active layer deepened, turning the solid rock around the entrance into a wet, unstable sponge. The mountain wasn't just holding the cold in, it was letting the heat in. The very earth that was supposed to protect the vault had become its greatest liability. Norway responded immediately with a massive multi-million-dollar upgrade. They waterproofed the 100-meter tunnel, installed heavy-duty drainage pumps, and moved electrical equipment that produced heat out of the tunnel entirely. They essentially had to turn the passive vault into an active, watertight submarine. It is no longer a hole in the ground that you can lock and leave for 1,000 years. It is now a high-maintenance facility fighting a constant battle against the encroaching damp. There is a cruel irony here. The cooling system that keeps the seeds frozen at -18 degrees Celsius requires electricity. That electricity comes from the local power plant in Longyearbyen, which runs on coal. We are burning fossil fuels to power the freezer that protects us from the consequences of burning fossil fuels. While the town is transitioning to renewable energy, for now, the vault is trapped in the very carbon cycle it is trying to hedge against. This dependence on active cooling changes the timeline. The original promise was that the seeds would survive for centuries without human intervention. Now we know that without electricity and maintenance, the temperature inside would slowly rise to the ambient temperature of the mountain. In a rapidly warming Svalbard, that ambient temperature might soon cross the freezing point. The Doomsday Vault needs us just as much as we need it. It is not an eternal bunker, it is a life support system. The threat isn't just environmental, it's geopolitical. Svalbard is a demilitarized zone, but it is strategically located in the increasingly tense Arctic Ocean. As the ice melts, new shipping lanes open up, and Russia and NATO are eyeing the region closely. The Russian mining settlement of Barentsburg is just a short helicopter ride away. While the vault remains a zone of peace, the ice around it is thinning, both literally and diplomatically. The safety of the seeds relies on the stability of the world outside. Despite the leaks, the heat, and the politics, the vault remains the safest place on Earth for our agricultural history. The 2017 flood was a wake-up call, not a death knell. It proved that we cannot simply bury our problems and hope for the best. We have to actively manage our survival. As we prepare to leave this frozen cathedral and head back into the light, we are left with one final question. If the backup plan is in trouble, what is the backup to the backup? Stepping back out of the vault and into the blinding white glare of the Arctic sun, The contrast is jarring. Inside, time stands still. Outside, the world is rushing forward, consuming resources at a terrifying pace. The heavy steel doors slam shut behind us, sealing the cathedral once again. It is a sobering realization that the most advanced civilization in history has spent millions of dollars to bury its most precious assets in a hole in the ground. We have built a monument to our own fragility. But the vault is also a monument to optimism. You don't build a facility designed to last 10,000 years if you believe humanity is doomed. You build it because you believe there will be a future worth feeding. It is a bet on the long now. In an era of quarterly earnings reports and 24-hour news cycles, the Svalbard Global Seed Vault is one of the few projects that thinks on a geological timescale. It asks us to care about people we will never meet, living in a world we will never see. The true value of these seeds lies not just in their history, but in their potential. We are entering the age of CRISPR and advanced genetic editing. The crop-wild relatives stored here, the ugly, weed-like ancestors of our modern corn and wheat, contain genetic superpowers we haven't even discovered yet. A single gene from a wild Peruvian potato might one day stop a blight that could starve millions. We are saving the source code before we even know how to run the program. This biological hard drive is currently the only thing standing between us and the homogenization of nature. We have streamlined our food system into a hyper-efficient, fragile machine. Just 12 crops provide 75% of the world's food energy. If that system crashes, whether from a superpast, a war, or a climate shift, the reboot disk is sitting on a frozen shelf in Norway. The logistics of getting the seeds here were difficult, but the logistics of getting them out to restart civilization would be the challenge of a millennium.
As the Arctic wind howls around the entrance, the glowing art piece above the door, perpetual repercussion, shines like a beacon. It is a signal to the future. If an archaeologist from the year 3000 were to stumble upon this place, long after the ice has melted or the governments have fallen, they wouldn't find gold or weapons. They would find the greatest gift one generation can leave to another: the ability to grow, to eat, and to live. The vault challenges the very definition of wealth. In our modern economy, value is digital, abstract, and fleeting. But here, value is tangible. It is a physical seed that weighs a fraction of a gram. It is the condensed energy of the sun and the soil. When the stock markets close and the internet goes dark, you cannot eat Bitcoin. You cannot eat data. In the final accounting of history, the only currency that matters is life itself. Ultimately, the Global Seed Vault is a mirror. It reflects our incredible ingenuity in logistical engineering, moving life across the planet to a frozen sanctuary. But it also reflects our failure to protect the planet itself. Ideally, this vault should be empty. Ideally, the seeds should be safe in the fields, evolving naturally. The fact that this freezer is full is a testament to our fear. We have insured the house because we know we are playing with fire. So the next time you bite into a slice of bread or peel a banana, remember the invisible thread connecting you to this frozen mountain. Somewhere in the dark, 130 meters inside the rock, a backup copy of that meal is sleeping. It is waiting for the day it is needed. We can only hope that that day never comes. But if it does, the door will be there, buried under the snow, ready to offer humanity a second chance.